I went to the hardware store the other day. Bought myself a new chisel. Here it is. But I waited 20 minutes in line to be able to buy that. Well, it's during the COVID pandemic and the store's only allowed to admit 4 people at a time. So there was a lineup outside the store, 20 minutes long. What a hassle. So what's going on there? Well, anytime you see a lineup, that's not a good thing. Now, way back there used to be nightclub lineups and people would say, oh, that must be a really popular nightclub. But there's nothing exciting about waiting in line to buy a chisel. So the reason you get lineups is because there are bottlenecks. And lineups aren't good. Maybe all those people will get served eventually, but the problem is there's people who see the lineup and say, I'm not going to bother with this, I'm going to shop somewhere else. So that's lost business. Anytime you see a lineup, whether it's in the food court or whether it's in your own business with customers calling, lineups are not good. And when you say, oh, well, we just can't keep up with the demand, that's not good either, because that means there's other customers you're not serving. It's lost business. So what's going on? Well, there's bottlenecks that create pinch points. You've seen bottlenecks before. It's what you see on a highway when there's an accident and 3 lanes get narrowed down to 1. What happens is the highway just can't handle the capacity anymore, so that excess capacity turns into excess time. Same at the store. It takes a lot longer for people to move through. So what's going on there? Well, somebody who dawdles and browses in the hardware store, they become the critical factor that slows down everybody else behind them. They become the pinch point, the bottleneck. So you want to figure out where those bottlenecks are. That's the first thing in any business. Figure out where the bottleneck is so that you can improve the throughput. And then remove the bottleneck. So how do you do that? Well, the first thing is maybe you make the bottleneck actually wider. Now, our family goes skiing, and we used to go to hills that had a 2-person chairlift. So those, when it got really crowded, those hills started adding 4-person chairlifts, and then 6-people chairlifts, so that would increase the flow up the hill. They also had high-speed chairlifts, so they detach at the bottom and go really slowly so you can get on, and then go at high speed up the hill. The entire throughput of the chairlift is increased, and you can handle more skiers per hour. So how could you do that in a retail store? Well, you want that throughput to move as fast as possible. So maybe you have an employee that works outside and says, what are you shopping for today? Oh, it's chisels. That's in aisle 3. Or paint. That's in aisle 4. So you direct people to where they need to go. Maybe you have a menu of items or a map for them so that when they get in the store, they move through as quickly as possible. Now, the company might say, well, that's an extra person. We can't afford to hire someone. But you can. Because remember, there's all that lost business that's not even joining the lineup to begin with. And so if you think about cost of goods at about 50% and cost of employees about 15%, that adds up to 65. There's 35% left for contributions to overhead, which hasn't changed much, and profit. So hiring that extra person, if only for a few hours on a busy Saturday afternoon, is going to pay dividends and increase throughput and increase revenues and hopefully profit. Well, the other thing you can do is go around the bottleneck. Back to that highway analogy, you take a detour so you don't even get to the accident site. So how could you do that in a store? Well, you can have people go around the cashier. If that's your bottleneck, there's only 1 cash that's open where you used to have 2. Take the cash outside. Have people pay for their goods out on the street if they need to, keeping at a good distance, and find a way to go around what the pinch points are. The third, of course, is to eliminate that bottleneck altogether. And lots of retail stores have done that. They said, don't even come to the store, buy from us online and we'll deliver to you, or you can pick up on the curb or whatever. So you're offering different routes to the destination rather than just the one route that's all crammed up with a bottleneck. So that's what you need to do. Examine where those pinch points are, where those bottlenecks are. find ways to reduce or eliminate them to increase throughput and reduce the time that people spend in waiting in a line, because that's lost business. If you can do that, then your business becomes more profitable.